have entered the realm of the truth. Mickey the truth. If you tell it, know what it is. If you clean, then clear your name. Whichever way it go, it'll definitely be the truth.
Yeah, they be like, who is this Mickey Truth girl? Who qualifies her to put a work on these people?
Hey,
Yeah, I'd rather be real than street any day.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mickey Truth, aka the Queen of Paperwork, and I am back with another video. As always, all information contained in this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. All information used in this video is per the Fair Use Act, and any conclusion that you draw is on you, not me. So let's get it. Hey, we are back. Yo, did he tell? I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I did not know who Syko Bob was until I believe yesterday. No, like last week, okay? Because I heard a story about his mother. Rest in peace to her. However, I was not familiar with who this guy was, never even heard of him. However, you know, I saw a post, you know, I'm gonna get into all that. But yeah, this is, did he tell? We're gonna get to the bottom of it, or try to at least, you know what I'm saying? Now, Syko Bob, aka Cambrell Smart, I believe is how you pronounce, but y'all know it may not be, but that's how I'm gonna pronounce it, okay? So the family YouTube channel, shout out to them, okay? They definitely dropping the heat with a lot of different stories. Y'all go check them out. Revealed that Syko Bob snitched in his 2015 Broward County case, which will later on lead somewhere else, okay? And it went viral. And now, you know, if you don't know who's next to him in this picture, that's Glock 9. And we know that whole fiasco that was going on with Glock 9 and Olin, right? So Fuchsia's TV, and this is how I actually saw it. Shout out to Fuchsia's TV because they posted it. And you know I love when I see paperwork because I'm like, ooh, that's my speed right there. So I'm like, hey, trending name. Gonna take a look at it. Let me see, you know? So that's why I even looking into it. Okay. So like I said earlier, it would possibly lead into something bigger, meaning a federal RICO case. Now, Syko Bob is in jail, but not on the RICO. Okay. He's doing 5 years federal time for a different case. However, I'm like, yo, so you told to avoid Fed time just to still end up doing Fed time? I'm like, that's crazy. Okay. That's crazy. So I took my start down in Broward County with this story, right? Since that is the original case that is said to lead to this federal case, right? And at first it was just two names, right? Cambrell Smart, aka Syko Bob, and then another person named Braxton Davis. Now, the victim did provide a statement, okay? And it says that on August 25th, 2015, at approximately 9:45 p.m., Tobias Barfield was riding his bicycle near his home in the northbound lane near 36 Northwest 13th Avenue. What kind of address is that? Okay. And now I ain't gonna lie, I thought this was a kid originally when I heard it. But anyway, right? In Dana Beach, Florida, when a white four-door vehicle that was traveling south on the same roadway intentionally crossed the center lane of the street and struck Mr. Barfield's bicycle front tire, causing him to fall to the ground. The fall caused lacerations to his left and right knee, left and right elbow, right arm, back, and buttocks. Ooh, he hit hard. Two individuals, one known as Cambrell Smart and another unknown black male, exited the car's passenger doors with the guns and ran towards Mr. Barfield. The individuals was yelling at Mr. Barfield and tried to apprehend him. Mr. Barfield was able to run away from the area, but he was chased by Cambrell Smart and the other unknown black male who caught up to him at the corner of 13th Avenue and Northwest 1st Street. There, the two suspects started hitting him with the guns, causing additional lacerations to his forehead. After being hit repeatedly and kicked, Mr. Barfield passed out and remembered waking up inside the back seat of the white vehicle that struck him. During this time, the vehicle was in motion at an unknown location. Shortly after waking up in the car, Mr. Barfield lost consciousness again and did not notice there were at least
two people in a car with them. He recognized the vehicle's driver as Braxton Davis by sight because Braxton is a longtime friend of his cousin, and he has seen him for several years in the area. Mr. Barfield later confirmed Braxton by seeing a picture on Facebook that was shown by his cousin. Okay, it says Barfield regained consciousness and he noticed one of the suspect trying to give him soda to wake him up. So I know it's blurry, y'all. It will be on my Patreon. I had to blow it up. I do apologize. But it does say that on September 1st, 2015, Detective Woodard did provide a lineup to the victim, who then was able to positively identify Cabral Smart as one of the individuals who struck him with the gun and kicked him prior to being kidnapped. Okay, with 100% certainty. 100% they say. Okay. Also, they say here that Mr. Smart, meaning Syko Bob, to the victim's point of view anyway, is the leader of the pack of this situation, okay? And he was also able to confirm that Braxton was the vehicle driver, okay? So again, this is from the victim. It says, okay, it's in his sworn statement. Mr. Barfield told me he was afraid for his life and is willing to prosecute. That is something, okay? So, Braxton Davis, which is the co-defendant, was arrested first on September 19, 2015. So that's about, 2 weeks or so after the identification by the victim. Syko Bob was arrested second on September 24th, 2015. Now, what happens next is interesting to me. Some of y'all may not think so. And that's because now it's 3 people on this case, okay? If you can't recognize who's new, well, Eric Hunter is new, okay, to the whole case, right? Because he wasn't on the original one. Now, with that, I'm just going to pick up where things are different than the first go around, right? And this says that Cabral Smart and Eric Hunter exited the car's passenger doors. If you remember, the original ones had an unknown black male, right? With guns ran towards Mr. Barfield. The individuals was yelling at Mr. Barfield and tried to apprehend him. Mr. Barfield was able to run away from the area, but he was chased by Cabral Smart and Eric Hunter, who caught up to him at the corner of 13th Ave and Northwest 1st Street. The 2 suspects started hitting him with guns, causing additional lacerations to his forehead. After being hit repeatedly and kicked, Mr. Barfield passed out and remember waking up inside the back seat of the white vehicle that struck him. During this time, the vehicle was in motion at an unknown location. Shortly after waking up in the car, Mr. Barfield lost consciousness again and did not notice there were at least 2 people in the car with him. These were the same 2 people that ran from the car to attack him, Eric Hunter and Cabral Smart. The second time that Mr. Barfield regained consciousness, he noticed one of the 2 suspects were trying to give him some soda to wake up. Mr. Barfield tried to move to get away, but his movement was restricted after Cabral Smart pointed a gun to his head for a short time prior to letting him out of the car in the area of the Blue Store that is located in the 1900 block of Northwest 21st Avenue in the city of Oakland Park. Once out of the car, Mr. Barfield noticed that his wallet had been taken from him, which contained his identification and about $3,500. On November 24th, 2015, Deputy, I don't know what that name is, okay, conducted a lineup of Eric Hunter, and Mr. Barfield was able to positively identify him as one of the individuals who struck him with the gun and kicked him prior to being kidnapped with 100% certainty. Mr. Barfield is willing to prosecute. So a little different, but the biggest change is that Eric is added, okay? So I'm like, dang. 2 months after the arrest of Syko Bob, a photo lineup is presented to the victim, who identifies Eric, on November 25th, 2015. Interesting to me. What y'all think? Let me know in the comments, okay? Now, as y'all know, if y'all don't know, y'all should know, y'all been watching my channel. We've been dealing with the Melly case, right? Syko Bob is listed as an A witness, meaning very important, right? And outside looking in, you'd be like, ooh. But if we haven't learned anything, we have learned that this just means, right, they could have information that's important to the overall case. Because if you don't recall, on the Melly case, YNW Bortland is listed as a witness, right? YNW Melly's girlfriend is listed as an A witness, and she never even testified. You know what I'm saying? So, again, a witness. However, that doesn't mean per se they told or snitch. And I want to use Bortland again as an example. Because remember, Bortland did do a recorded statement. However, he didn't tell on Melly, right? As far as what they released to us. Let me put it that way, right? But that's what that means for those who may not be clear on it, right? Now, again, doesn't mean he told. Well, let me tell you this. Braxton Davis received $75,000 bond. However, he couldn't make the bond. He tried to get it reduced, but it didn't work out. Aaron Hunter even got a $25,000 bond, and I thought that was crazy, okay? And he was able to bond out like a week or so later in December of 2015. Syko Bob, however, did not get a bond, and this was confirmed not only through documentation, however, but through a letter that he wrote to the judge, which says, "My name is Kimbrell Smart. My case number is 15-12428, which is a robbery. I was allegedly and mistakenly accused of a crime I didn't commit. Due to the insufficient statements and facts in this case, there's not any substantial evidence that should deny me a bond. As a citizen, I feel like this is truly unfair and that I don't have any rights at all. I've been incarcerated for 8 months now, being punished for a crime I didn't do or even have any whereabouts took place. I'm a supporter and loving father of 2 beautiful kids, aged 2 years old and a newborn. They really need my help as well as my family. I had just started to get my life going when I was falsely and wrongly accused of an accusation I didn't do. My next court is June 13th. I hope you take this in consideration and have a change of heart because I think everyone deserves a chance. Thank you and may God bless you." Then it says I was on pretrial before. I did everything the restrictions required of me to do. I got along great with my PO. They even recommended me pretrial on this case. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. In my opinion, it's kind of hard to think he made a statement telling on somebody if he said he ain't know nothing about nothing, right? And like he's been wrong. But that's just my opinion on it. We're gonna keep going through the word. That's just my opinion, right? Now, I can't help but to say they do say they have a DVD statement, okay, of guess who? Kimbrell Smart, aka Syko Bob. At his Arthur hearing, the state listed a DVD of statement by Syko Bob as part of the evidence why he shouldn't get bail. So that's the key thing to take in mind with this. This is listed under the state's composite presentation in opposition to defendant's request for bond in accordance with State versus Arthur. Have a non-bondable offense, you have to do the Arthur hearing in Florida. So that's what this is in regards to. So that again makes me kind of like question if he actually corroborated. Why would they need to use that against him unless he told on himself? And then that would be crazy to even be, I don't know. You know, I'm kind of like out on that, but we're going to keep it moving. Now, so did Syko Bob give police information? Or could it be a different reason, like a statement from a witness? Well, let me tell you this. Syko Bob's legal team filed motion to sever from defendants. And I want to point out a few things. I'm not going to read this in verbatim. However, it does say here that during the deposition of state witness Katanya Jackson, Ms. Jackson indicated she had discussed the case with the defendant and that he had indicated to her that co-defendants Davis and Hunter asked him to go with them to commit the crimes charged, but that he had declined to go with them. The defendant also volunteered to that a third black male named Marcelo Gordon was actually the one involved with the other two in committing the crime. Ms. Jackson has also given contradictory statements about her belief that the defendant fired shots at her residence to influence her testimony in this case. Because of the precedents in these statements against the other two co-defendants, and because of the unusual circumstances of Miss Jackson thinking the three co-defendants were responsible, and her showing the alleged victims photographs of the three co-defendants prior, the alleged victim giving details and describing his assailants, and before the police could prepare and present photo lineups, there is a substantial risk that the jury, despite instructions to the contrary, will look to incriminating statements of the co-defendant and determine the defendant's guilt. So, in a nutshell, basically, this woman is saying that the defendant told her all this and that, the defendant did that. That's where that is coming from. So, with that being said, right, this is Syko Bob's team saying, hey, this lady is capping, okay? And we don't know where she getting it from, because one minute she say this, one minute she say that, but nevertheless, we don't want this used against us, right? Now, part of the paperwork, state witness provided a statement in regards to what she alleges Syko Bob told her. Alleges, okay? Now, I went a little further. I looked a little bit more. So I'm like, okay, that's just my way of thinking it, right? However, now, Eric Hunter, right, then goes on to file a motion for severance of defendants himself, right? And he is stating here, if you look at number 2, it is anticipated that the state will offer testimony through Katoya Jackson of a conversation she allegedly had with Cambrell Smart, wherein he made alleged admissions regarding his participation in this case and that of the defendant, Eric Hunter. This statement / testimony will be inadmissible hearsay, okay? So again, Eric Hunter's team is now stating that's where this information is coming from, not that it came from Syko Bob, right? But wait, Mickey, what about the plea deal? What about being a co-conspirator on the Fed case? Well, let's get into that. Davis and Smart got 5 years probation. Like, they both got 5 years probation. Same charges, 5 years, both enter pleas. Now, Eric Hunter was found not guilty by a jury on everything. He was acquitted. Okay. So basically, hey, they can't even use this against him per se, right? As far as charging him. However, they can take it to a federal level to just show, or even just to show, a conspiracy on a RICO case, though. Keep that in mind. Now, speaking of the RICO case, the 2020 Fed case of Eric Hunter and others, okay? Count 1 and count 2, which is robbery, kidnapping, August 25th, 2015. This is going to sound familiar to you guys because literally it's the case we just went over, right? And it says, and I'll just read it real quick. On August 25th, 2015, Hunter, Gordon, and a co-conspirator kidnapped the victim in Dana. The victim was known in the community as a large-scale drug dealer. Hunter, Gordon, and a co-conspirators surveilled the victim for several days. They observed him riding a bicycle to a local grocery store. Hunter, Gordon, and a co-conspirator were in a vehicle. They hit the victim with the vehicle, and thereafter assaulted him. They forcibly placed him in the vehicle at gunpoint. They drove him around, during which time he frequently passes out. Ultimately, they forced, by means of assault, to place a phone call to a criminal associate. The associate brought 30,000 to agreed location. Hunter and a co-conspirator retrieved the money, and then they released the victim. Gordon will testify that approximately 4 drive-by shootings were committed by Hunter, Gordon, and a co-conspirator in order to intimidate the victim and a neighbor of the victim who was a potential witness in the kidnapping case. Now, that was a lot. So you already know Gordon was telling, okay? Because they say he's going to testify. Okay, or would testify, but hey, we're not focused on this case. However, a lot of things were said. Now, what I want to point out is this. I mean, it was 2 defendants on the 2015 state case that's not indicted on the federal case. It was Braxton Davis and it was Cambrell Smart, to be honest. However, I can't help but to think it sounds so familiar to something that I've heard already. And it should sound familiar to you too. Right? But before we get into that, what is a co-conspirator, right? Now, remember, it's not a co-cooperator, it's a co-conspirator. And co-conspirator, a person who is engaged in a conspiracy with another or others, okay? So, if you look here, say 2 men were named by the prosecution as co-conspirators, and I might be saying it wrong, but y'all know I don't care, but keep moving. Would a co-defendant that took a plea in the reference case not be considered a co-conspirator? Y'all let me know in the chat. Now, mind you, we have two. Mama be where I'm not going to play games with y'all. I honestly feel they are referring to Syko Bob. However, I feel, right, not that he talked to him. Like, I don't feel like they got info from him, per se. But I do feel like they got info from the 2015 Florida case. And you know why I feel that way? Because of the deposition of the witness. That name, for one, she named Gordon in her deposition. And I circled it in red just to take you back to it, right? It clearly states that she stated that Syko Bob gave her this information, but that he named Marcelo Gordon, right? Also, she stated that it's her belief that the defendant fired shots at her residence, okay? So with that being said, I feel like they're using, if anything, the deposition of this witness to prove the events. Now, mind you, they can't try Eric Hunter for this because he was already acquitted, right? However, to prove the RICO, that would be something to lean towards, like showing it, as we have seen with other RICO cases, like O-Block, right? Another thing too, remember Gordon, right, is Marcelo Gordon, who is named in the deposition, but not on that state case, took the stand, or at least provided statements, putting himself there, confirming this information. So even with that, it wouldn't be a snitch statement on behalf of Syko Bob. Now, if he actually talked to this lady and told her something, he's talking too much. I don't know what their relation could have been, some pillow talking or whatever, but it wasn't provided to authorities by him, in my opinion, though, from what I'm seeing and comprehending from the paperwork. Now, the question of the video: will Mickey Truth stamp Syko Bob, or is we about to pack him up and add him to the Rat Pack lineup? What y'all think?
Yo, deputy homeboy, what you tell about? Get to work, show the work is what I'm talking about. You already know Mickey Truth will go get it. Pop out, get to work and put a crown with it. Queen of paperwork, you better put some respect on it. You already know that your fans want my stamp on it.
Dun, 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 dun. Based on the paperwork available, Syko Bob gets a stamp for the 2015 Florida case and the 2020 Fed RICO case. And that's just my opinion of it, okay? So congratulations. Disclaimer, like I got on the screen, this is for my platform purpose, and you should do your own research to conclude your own conclusion. I do hear that is like video, audio. Again, I'm the queen of paperwork, not queen of videos and audios, okay? However, when they come out, I'll definitely do a reaction to it. But as far as paperwork, hey, I stand on it. I haven't found nothing. And remember, keyword, that was publicly available, okay? Y'all know other things being secret, that's not available. But nevertheless, man, hey, I ain't find nothing to say that Syko Bob snitched directly to the police or nothing like that. Like I said, the only thing is, if indeed this woman is telling the truth, he just was talking too much. That's about it. To a woman, okay? Now, that sometimes will get you some shit anyway. But nevertheless, that's what I got for y'all. Y'all, as always, man, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to pull up on your girl Mickey Truth. As always, go over to MickeyTruth.com and get you that merch, because you know your girl stay with that work. And if you didn't know, now you know I am the queen of paperwork. Holla!
Yeah, you street, and that might be for show. Do the street knows you already told. Mickey Truth, Mickey Fest, yeah, I'm known for that. He a rat, you a rat, call you Rat Pack. Yeah, you got exposed cause you know you wrong. If you never told what you word for, see me on YouTube, and I did it my way. Content driven, not by views, so you know they doubted me. Okay. Mickey talks the truth. Mickey shows the proof. So yeah, I'm your girl Mickey Truth, aka the queen of paperwork. And I just got one thing to say. I'm pulling work and you rappers ain't safe.